morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to ICFB SHOW Entertainment. We're really delighted to see you here today. And today we got a really special guest. We've got Howard Gripp. Howard Gripp is a Christian rocker and he's got some amazing songs. So we're really delighted to have him here today. Welcome, Howard Gripp.
Thanks for having me on.
You're more than welcome. We're really delighted you're here. So the first question of the day is we're going to get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to ask you some of the basics. So, of course, the most obvious question is, how'd you get started in music?
My mom was very musical on her side of the family. So I have an older brother that plays drums. So I kind of looked up to him when I was young, and I started playing drums when I was 6 and just fell in love with it. I'm a Christian artist, so I went to church with my mom all the time. And my first live gig was playing drums for Godspell at church, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
When I was 16, I kind of got bit by the rock and roll bug, and I put a band together, and we started playing gigs, and I was hooked. I wanted to be Van Halen. I wanted to be a big rock star, all the money and everything comes along with it. I got into music.
Nice. So did you ever reach that kind of success with all the money and all the fans or anything like that in that Van Halen age?
That was about it.
Well, that kind of lifestyle, I think you spent it as fast as you earned it, or even spent it faster than you earned it, right?
Yeah.
But then you switched over into Christian rock.
Yeah, I've done that about 3 years ago. I made that switch. I tried to live my big dream till I was about 35, and then I said if I didn't make it, or whatever make it means, at that point I was going to hang it up. I did, and I didn't play for about 5 years, and music's kind of in my bones, so got the itch again, put another band together. We played for a little while, and it just wasn't the same anymore, so I ended up doing an acoustic duo thing. I had a small record contract. When I got that, I cut a CD, so I moved off from the drums out to the front, and I used the acoustic guitar as a prop. I really didn't play it just looked like I did.
Okay.
When I stopped playing music, I dabbled a little bit, and I started picking up an acoustic and kind of dinking around, learning how to play that. And then when I got in this band, girl that I was playing with, the band broke up, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to go do this acoustic duo thing. What do you think?" I said, "Well, I don't play very good, but sure, I'll go do that." The acoustic duo by 15 years. We, playing the bars and parties and all that stuff. And I don't know, about 3 years ago, I just felt God saying, you took your shot. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I let you do it anyway. But now I want you to do something for me to honor me. I didn't know what that meant, because all I'd ever known was playing in bars and playing private parties. And so I went to a Christian festival here, so I've been Fuller, and I wrote my first Christian song that night. And I still played in a duo for about a year after that. But now I don't play the bars or anything at all anymore. It's all just churches and private parties and coffee shops and festivals and things like that. So that was the shift.
Well, it sounds like quite a big shift from moving from the back to the front, from drums to being the singer and the front man. Like, that's an amazing shift, right?
I took a while to get comfortable with. So when I started my first band, I was a drummer.
Okay.
I didn't have a singer, so by default I started singing. So I kind of like I was playing drums and singing at the same time. So
doing the whole Phil Collins thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so then I moved out to the keyboards to try to get a little comfortable. I didn't know how to play keys either. Playing enough to do some of the Van Halen stuff we did, and the things that I wrote, I could play enough to do that. And then that's comfortable, so I moved all the way out front. But
nice.
It was quite the transition.
That is a big transition. I was actually surprised to hear that you were the drummer at the start. That's a cool beginning.
Yeah.
So what's actually been that hook or that passion that you've had about music and in the music industry? What's that little nugget that keeps you going?
I don't know I think back then it's what I was chasing.
Okay.
My brother had some success, and I looked up to him when he played, and I wanted what he was striving for, but I wanted more.
Okay.
That's what really motivated me, and that was the nugget that kept me chasing. I was chasing that nugget. Now it's very different, because I'm not singing for people to, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's more like, I want them to worship God. I want to make them feel better. I want to make, it's not about me anymore. It's very different. It's very different because it's very personal. And really, a lot of my songs talk about that old life that I had, because it was really not a good one.
Okay.
So I think a lot of my songs people can relate to and go, hopefully it stops them from doing some things, or it helps them get things, or so I guess the nugget I'm chasing now, if that's the right way to put it, I'm trying to help people. That's really all I want to do.
So the lyrics in your songs and the way that they're written will help people to find God maybe, or feel better about themselves, or maybe even change their mind to make a better decision. So these are things that you wish for good for other people. And through music, that's your avenue, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Love
That's
it.
cool.
That's amazing. That's really cool. So your vision would be that you want to help others help themselves.
Yep,
Maybe have a lyric that sticks in their mind. And then they go, that's my moment, right? I love your new song, Strong. That's just amazing. I like listening to it. And, when I listen to it, I feel better. I feel like I can do this. Yes, it's a good song. I love that song. You did a really nice job.
that's the
All
goal.
right. So, how did you get from the point of look at me, look at me, look at me? How did you get to that turning point where you decided to help people through your music?
Well, I got married young. We had kids young.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a rock star. So I was on the road for a little while. And when we had kids, I had to get off the road because everybody knows musicians don't make any money. So
Mhm.
I got a job, got a full-time job, but I still played every weekend. I was gone every weekend. And it was just a lot of life decision choices I made that were wrong, and things that I did that were wrong that really affected my marriage. The marriage eventually ended. I was estranged from my kids. My relationship with God was really not there.
Mhm.
It was very different, and I guess I was broken. I mean, I was at the bottom. I know
Yeah.
where the bottom is. I've seen the bottom, and I was ready to take my life. I don't wish anyone to ever be there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have been there, so a lot of my songs talk about that freely, about how bad I was and how down I was, and I battled depression really bad. And I don't know, when I surrendered everything to God, everything changed. I didn't want to die anymore, but I was still in the middle of that, going through the divorce, and I know we've talked a little bit about that before, but so it was not an easy transition even out of that, and it took me a while to step back into a church again.
Mhm.
So the transition was not easy, and it was even more difficult the first time I played in front of somebody with my Christian music, because it was about me, and I was really singing about how bad I was,
Oh no.
But I think that's what God wants to use me for. It's okay. I went through that stuff. I'm still standing, and I think the songs are meant to let people know, hey, I've been there. I've been down there. I've been in the black hole, and I came out of it. So that's kind of been.
Well, like that is kind of the center point of Christian rock, is that everybody expects that when you're a Christian, your life is perfect. You have joy and everything is hunky dory and rosy, rosy, rosy. But the truth of the matter is that God can't speak to you if you're perfect, right?
Yeah.
If you're too perfect, that's not where God lives. God lives inside of you. He lives inside of you in that brokenness, and he has to break you. He has to break you so that he can put you back together again the way that he wants to make you, right? And that's a hard, hard, hard experience. And you want to learn it the first time he does it, because you don't want to play repeat and do that again. Let me tell you. Some of us have done it a couple times. I had cancer and I've been divorced. I can tell you, I know exactly what you're talking about. That absolute black space. And if you meet somebody and they tell you they've never been there, hey, you know what? They're not telling the truth. I don't know anybody. So good on you for being that honest and to chase that dream and to turn that blackness into a ray of sunshine for everybody else. And you know what? And be honest about it, right? They say that Christianity, God will never leave you, right? And he's going to give you challenges too big for you to handle on your own, because he wants to be the superstar. He wants to be the one to help you get to your next part of your journey. He wants you to reach out and say, hey, God, I can't do this by myself. I need you in my life. Could you please guide me? Right? That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Howard. So I guess we've kind of answered that question about what you'd consider to be your greatest success and learning moment. That would be finding God and learning your voice and being able to sing about that God space. And I imagine that you're probably having more success now in the Christian rock than you ever had before that.
Yep. When all this came about, people talk about God talking to him, and I've never heard God talk to me. I felt the Holy Spirit telling me to do things, and I felt that from him, but I'm not sure where I was going with that.
Well, you're talking about God speaking to you, and you're saying that it's more of a feeling that you have to do certain things. I think is what you're trying to say.
So he's opened so many doors that I tried so hard to open when I was 20 that they wouldn't even hear the knock. And I've opened for some huge people. I don't know how. Oh, I know where I was going with that. So, I'm 60, I'm not a young kid. So the first question I had when this all happened was, what are you doing wanting to use a 60-year-old man at this stage of life to try to go out and, chase his dream again in a different way? So it's just been, so I had to answer that question first, which I don't know if I ever got that answered, but I just surrendered and said, okay, if that's what you want me to do, then that's what I'm going to do. So if you open doors, I guess I'll walk through them. And if you close doors, I'll walk away from them. And man, he's opened so many doors. It's unbelievable. So I've really only been doing this 2 years, right? It's 2 years next, recorded my first Christian song. And I've got 2 EPs now. I've opened for people like Danny Goki and Jordan St. Cyr, and big names. Played in front of thousands of people. I played in front of 10 people. I've been able to hear stories because I do testimony in my shows as well. I don't just play music, and it's the people afterwards that come up and talk to me and say, "Hey, I had a guy come up after one show." So I have a song about addiction. Kids that battle addiction, right? And they've been on death's door. And I've been in the ER and doctors telling me they're not going to make it, and they have. But I had a guy come up and talked to me right after the show. Said I was there 3 days ago. I was ready to take my life, and I've been battling this, and something told me not to. And he said, I don't listen to Christian music. I came here. We were playing in a park. He goes, I just by and I heard your story and your song, and I wanted to talk to you. And it was awesome because you just never know. Music. I'm not just going to say Christian music. Music is universal, right? Music touches everyone in different ways. No matter what kind of music it is, music can move you in a bad direction too. But music is very powerful.
I have seen that bad direction too. And it's better to be in the light and doing what's right, 100%. And good for you. Good on you that you were able to have that experience of talking to the audience and have people come up and relate their stories to you afterwards. That's a huge testament to how you open people up to the experience that they're going through and say, hey man, you're not alone. And that door knocking, you're talking about that door knocking. And I feel like, oh, hang on a sec. Sorry. I feel like that door knocking is that start of that song, Hello, It's Me. And that's another great song too. I love that song. But when I listen to your songs, they sound like they're just coming right from your spirit and out. And you're inviting people to have that spiritual connection with God themselves, to dig deep into themselves, to find that part of themselves that they're maybe missing, right? The Hello, It's Me. It's a really beautiful song. And it's just like, hey, man, I know I haven't been here with you, God, but, I'm here now and I'm knocking on the door. And a lot of people too, that is what prevents them from going down that Christianity road is that, well, I've been this, I've done this, and I've done this. But the truth of the reality is that the more broken that it is that you are, probably the stronger the connection you do find when you do make it into that Christian role, right? Well, it was Jesus had his feet washed by a prostitute with her best perfume. And he said that was the best tribute because she didn't have any water, but she gave her very best perfume to wash his feet. That act of humility. Right? We're all humble, right? You can't do this alone without him, right? So I'm going to go back here and just ask you, we've kind of ascertained that turning the corner from the drums to the front has been a great success. It was a huge learning moment. If you could go back to your life 20 years ago, what would you tell yourself then about what to do then that you would know from now? What advice would you give yourself?
It's not all about me. That's really what it comes down to. I would tell this me, you have no idea what's coming.
Well, and hey, that's a pretty valid point. It's not all about me either, right? It's about community. It's about how we interact with one another. It's about giving of yourself to somebody else, that little tiny piece that maybe they were missing, right? And isn't that the most beautiful thing about music?
It is. That's why I said music.
Yeah. Like we have the opportunity to write lyrics, and maybe, when they sing along to those lyrics, maybe that changes their mind. Carlos Santana actually came out and said, "What are you singing about? You need to understand that what you're singing about and the person that you're portraying on stage, that's the person that the next generation is looking up to." So for Carlos Santana to actually say that, maybe we're going through this huge awakening. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes, that would be cool. Yeah, you got to be right about what you're writing, what you're saying. The people
and you sing the words, right?
Right.
You sing the lyrics. You're in the rhythm, you're in the moment. Your audience hopefully is taking your music home from the show. They've downloaded it, they're streaming it, and they're listening to it. Now they're learning your words, right?
Yeah.
And like I've listened to your words and I've sung along, and man, I feel great when I sing along to your words,
You know
Yeah.
that.
What?
Did you know that? You're an artist. It's great when people sing back to you. It's so cool.
Yeah, 100%, because those are your words, those are your lyrics, that's what your feelings were, right? So I think it's important to write things that are beautiful and give you a feeling of beauty and strength and I can do this, right? I got somebody with me, they got my back, I'm gonna be fine, right? You're not alone. We're all one people under one God, right? We're all the same people under God, right? I cut you, you bleed, I hurt myself, right? So, and then we need to get that back into the schools, back into the kids, get them to be able to hear that again. And I really respected that somebody of Carlos Santana's musical career would actually come out and say that, right? But look at where we are. You and I have discussed this. Everybody's dancing in their underwear. Man, I like wearing my clothes. I like dancing in my underwear in my house when nobody can see me. I would never do that on stage. No. I like clothes. And then how did we get there? And why is it that only the women are wearing underwear on stage? I think men should wear underwear on stage if women are wearing underwear on stage, personally. But, honestly, I'd like to see people wear clothes again. That'd be a nice thing. It's just become a little bit too
free. Yeah, that's not the right word.
I think it's Sarah McLachlan is about building a mystery, right? Yeah. And you want to have your door locked so you open it, right? Yeah. So if the door is wide open and everybody can see inside, why bother locking it in the first place, right? There are some moments that should be private.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to switch over and ask you some questions about what entertains you. We've had a really deep conversation, so let's shift gears. Okay. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for telling us your story. That's amazing. So next question is, have you always lived in the United States?
I have.
Okay.
I lived in Iowa, and I only moved one state away.
So you've just basically traveled through the United States on your musical journey. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you might want to go?
I don't know. I want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So back when I had my first CD, I had a little record contract, and I played a lot, but I didn't get a lot of airplay in the States, but I got a lot of airplay in Europe.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Europe, play over there. I don't know. I think it'd be different, like Australia, or obviously I want to come up to Canada. I don't know. I'm okay going anywhere.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, Europe and Canada and Australia, they're all a lot of fun places to go to, for sure. And they do have a very active music industry as well. So we'd love to have you here in Canada, for sure. And Adam Medical, who is our producer from Fearescape, he's from Italy. So
I want to go there now. I want to meet him.
I know. I want to go to Italy too, right? And France.
Italy, you can video it.
Let's go. All right. So, do you speak any other languages than English, or?
Oh, I speak Spanglish.
Spanglish? Okay, cool.
It's Spanish, and it's not very good.
Well, it is actually a wider based audience for Spanish than English. It's surprisingly the first major language is, well, not surprisingly, Mandarin, then the next one's Spanish, and then the third one is actually English, right? So but Spanish is one of those romantic languages. It's really cool because the base of the language kind of translates, some words are the exact same from Spanish, Italian, and French, right? Just pronounced a little differently, right? Like, we've been talking a lot about God. Well, you know what? The temptation, la tentación, is the same in Spanish, French, and Italian. It's all but it's how you say it, right?
Yeah.
So French might say la tentación, and then the Spanish is la tentación, right? You know, so it's interesting. So, you know what? There's only one word for temptation in 3 languages. It's got to tell you something, I tell you.
Yeah, right.
God is not wrong. Temptation exists.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to watch a movie, are you going to watch it at home or are you going to go out?
I like to go out with my wife to the theater. And sometimes we take our daughter. We just like going out and getting the popcorn and sitting there and watching a movie.
Nice. Nice. What would be your favorite movie these days?
Well, these days, I like comedies. This won't match what I'm doing at all, but my favorite movie is Dumb and Dumber.
I love them. They're so good. Have you watched Pet Detective with Ace Ventura? Oh my God, I love that too. You know, the head out the window. You must have dogs, right?
Did you hear him? Yeah, one of them was barking. Yeah, I got dogs.
Oh. Well, no, Ace Ventura is that dog movie, right? Yeah. I think you got 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Dogs my whole life. So.
They're pretty amazing, aren't they? They just love you no matter what.
Yep.
They're like, there's my human, yay! And that can't help but lift your spirit, right? They're like God's little minions coming into your life. I'm going to teach you about love. Here's a dog. All right. If you're going to go to watch music, are you going to go to a concert or are you going to watch TV or are you going to, stream or download? What's your favorite medium to listen to music?
I like concerts. I hate fighting the crowds afterwards. I really like going to like coffee shops and smaller places to hear people that maybe aren't known or to hear people that maybe are a little more famous but in a more intimate setting. I still love the big concerts though.
Well, yeah, it is nice to go to a big concert, but it is nicer to get to have a little bit more of an intimate connection with the music, right?
We've got a place up here in Green Bay called Cup of Joy, and they have like 100-seat auditorium, and they have a 500-seat auditorium, so you can get the best of both worlds. I've played in the small stadium, but I've seen a bunch of artists in the bigger stadium, bigger room up there too. So it's definitely, but the 500 is still small enough that the artist will meet and greet after every show. It's so cool.
Nice, nice. Okay. So if you had a choice to go to sit back and watch TV, go to the movie theater, go to a concert, go to a bar, or do karaoke, which would you choose?
Karaoke? No.
No.
So coming down into my studio is not an option. No, I would go to a concert.
Concert? Okay.
Music is in my bones.
All right. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Who would be your favorite artist in music?
Well, Ben Fuller's been a very strong influence of mine in the Christian realm. It was Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I've got a lot of artists now that are different. Yeah, Ben Fuller probably would be my number one.
I love that Stevie Ray Vaughan and Van Halen thing too. That was
what I wanted to be.
There you go. But your hair's too short to be Van Halen.
Yeah, it wasn't back then.
Nice. Okay, so if you're gonna observe art, do you observe art at all? Like, do you like painting or photography or?
Not really.
No. Okay. And then how about fashion? What would be your best fashion tip?
My wife tells me. So I did this early on. Well, it's only been 2 years, but early in the 2 years, I did this thing called The Objective in Nashville, right? Where you got to play 3 songs in front of like a panel of 18 of Nashville, accomplished musicians or producers or record companies. And one of the comments I got was, I needed to update my outfit. So,
oh no.
I said, that's your job. What do we got to do? So we went to the Buckle and So, yeah, I'm not. Back in the day, I wanted to dress like everyone. I wanted to dress like Van Halen, Zuba pants and leather, all the leather and all that. Now I just I kind of feel like what I'm doing now. I just want to be me. Apparently, I got to up the wardrobe game a little bit for me just to be me.
Well, wardrobe's always something that I struggle with too, Howard. You're not alone.
I'm a pretty simple guy that doesn't really need a lot of flash. I have 2 rings on now and a bracelet, and I never really even wore that much before, but I don't know.
But yeah, no, you got to get that whole next level of that fashion thing going, right?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I had a look at my wardrobe the other day, and it was like, oh my gosh, I've got black, or black.
I have a lot of that. I have a lot of black.
So trying to color coordinate some new colors to bring color into your life and more joy, that's always been a bit of a challenge for me too. I hear you. Except for I don't have a wife, so nobody helps me dress except for the store clerks, and the store clerks are always exceptionally helpful with bringing more items to the change room.
Buckle. We walked in. I was getting ready to go perform in San Antonio for that You Guys music thing, so I
Yeah.
did dress differently for that. So we walk into the Buckle. I'd never been in the Buckle before, and we just asked the first person we saw that was working there, "Hey, I've got this competition I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be in front of 2,000 people, and there's going to be judges there, and I don't know what to wear." And he asked what kind of music I did, and I actually played him the song, I think. And then he filled the dressing room. I couldn't even move in there. He just kept bringing stuff and bringing stuff. It was the owner. I didn't know it.
Oh my gosh.
What he was doing, I tell you, he would, "Oh, you want this with that, and you want this with, and you probably want some boots, so that's got to go with this." So that was fun. I'd never done that before. That was cool. We got up to the cash register, but
Well, yeah, that's the hard part, but you got to do it, right? Because you got to look good and you got to look that part, right?
it was fun.
Yeah. I love it when you get a good salesperson and they get in there and they really help you with your wardrobe, because I have a bit of a struggle with that too, right? But when you wear those clothes, doesn't it make you feel great?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's a different kind of rock star, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very different. I hate doing that stuff. I hate trying on clothes. I hate going in the store. I like if I'm going to the store, I know what I'm getting. I get it and I get out. So that was a totally different experience, and he made me feel relaxed, and he was super great right up until we got the cash register. But that was okay because I had to do something, and I got a lot of outfits out of it, so I do have some change of scenery when I'm on stage, so that's cool.
Nice. And do you go back there every once in a while to get a little update?
I haven't been back there. They're in Minneapolis. They're about 3.5 hours away, so I don't remember why we're up there. We're up there for something, but I sent this when my first CD came out. So.
Nice. And you also mentioned that you're married again. So
she is the one that got me to go back to church.
Wow.
We disagree on which date number it was, but I think it was date 3. We do her home church. I hadn't been to church maybe here and there for a while. So when I walked in, there's this whole big band on stage, and they're contemporary Christian music, and I went, "Wow, this is awesome! I love this. I want to be part of that. I want to do that." And so we kept going to church, and eventually we found that we moved up here into Wisconsin, and I became a member of a church for the first time in my life. I joined my first life group for the first time in my life, and I joined a worship team for the first time in my life. And she was a huge part of it, because I'm not sure if my ex-wife was a believer or not, but we didn't really go to church together, and we tried for a little while and she just didn't want to go, and then when everything kind of went sideways, it was just not something I wanted to do. Something kept tugging at me. So when I started looking for someone else, one of my things I put in my profile was that I wanted somebody that was strong in the faith. I wanted to have my faith again. So we met, and she's been beside me the whole time. So she's all on board with this, which is crazy, but
that's really beautiful. So she kind of led you back to church again, and that's really what got you started into your new role in Christian music, was meeting your new wife. Yeah. And isn't that amazing how a wife can actually change you? Yeah. It's one of the reasons they do say that until you're ready to get married, you really shouldn't be dating. So if you're going through something, go through it by yourself and come out the other side. Don't drag your partner down with you, right? So you went through your stuff, you met your wife, and then boom. And then tell us about that life now.
Well, we've got, she's 17 now. We have a 17-year-old stepdaughter that I was adopted from China.
Nice.
We've gone through some stuff with all of my kids, but it's really been a blessing. Even though we've gone through some pretty tough stuff together, it's really been a blessing. And I don't know if I hadn't found my faith again and gotten the strength in it that I have now, that we would have gotten through some of the stuff we've been through. But like you said, just because you become a Christian doesn't mean things get better, right? I mean,
No.
they get better, but you're still going to lose people in your life. You're still going to get sick. You're still going to have heartache. You're still going to have problems. You're still going to have money problems, especially if you're trying to be a Christian musician.
Yes, definitely.
Much, I am nothing like the person I used to be. I mean, even my kids are saying that, Dad, you're nothing like you used to be. I can see 100% change in you. So, and it's starting to affect them, which is good.
Good job, Dad.
Not without pain, heartache, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's important. Family life is a very important thing. I just wanted to touch upon what life is like now that you found this beautiful wife and you're Christian and stuff like that, because it's important, right? That's who we are now, right? And in terms of Christianity, yeah, like God seems to be like, okay, here's the carrot. Okay, you got that one, so let's move it. Oh, no, you got that one. Let's go like this. So he gives you what you can handle at the time, or what you think you can handle, then will push you to that next level, push you to that next level. So, it's just never comfortable, is it?
no, it is. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
There's going to be another challenge, right? Like, okay, what's next? Where are we going from here? Now I'm comfortable in front of 1,000 people. Now he's going to put me in front of 20,000 people or 50,000 people, right?
And he's going to put me and say, what are you going to do here? So right. When I do a show, and I don't call them concerts or anything, I'm going, or performances, I'm going to try to reach people, right? So I try, and sometimes this is hard, and I'm sure you can relate to this, being an artist, is I always try to perform just as much for one as I do for 1,000, because you never what that one needs. So whenever I do a show, my prayer is that I touch at least one person, no matter how many. So, and that's totally different than what I used to be. Totally different.
But if you could touch one person, that makes a whole difference.
Sometimes it's a ripple, after that, it turns into a wave, Well,
that is why we do music, is to have that connection.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no matter how you're doing it. Yeah, you want that connection.
Yeah. 100%, regardless of what your goal is, we want to connect with our audience and help them to enjoy something different or have a different experience. Do you ever perform at restaurants?
Used to. I haven't done much of that lately. I've done some, I don't know what you call them, where they feed the homeless. I've done some of those.
Nice.
We're doing some Christmas shows in a couple of nursing homes in December. I'm doing that with a buddy. He's doing it, and he just asked me to come play, but I'll go do that with him. But it's much different. Much different.
That was one of my favorite experiences with my grandmother, is that we would have musicians come in and I would come and hang out with grandma and we'd watch the musicians together, and and they would serve her wine and I got to have a glass too. And that was lovely. I love that. Yeah. So, you make a big difference when you go in and you do those special performances and shows in that nursing home setting, or the homeless setting too, right? Because homeless people, they're certainly at risk, and if they could learn the words to some of your songs, maybe you'd inspire them, right? That's cool. Very cool. All right, I'm going to go back to your lovely life that you've got right now, and I'm going to ask you if you're going to eat. Are you going to want to eat at home, or are you going to want to eat out at a restaurant?
Oh, we eat out way too much.
What's your favorite kind of food when you eat out?
I'm a pizza burger big guy.
Nice. You gotta love a good pizza.
Oh yeah, I love pizza.
But I love pizza too. But
the pizza there.
The Italian pizza is quite different than American pizza.
That's right, it's still pizza.
I think there's a little bit more stuff and less cheese, like more vegetables and stuff, and more meats. No, it's really good. And then they use some crazy stuff like balsamic vinegar dressing and stuff like that. Marco could tell you all about the pizza in Italy.
He's going to tell us. He's going to take us out when we go over there and play.
100%.
when he's videoing us, he's going to take us out for pizza.
Well, Marco and I have a collaboration too, so he'll play with me too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's really good at video and production and all that kind of great stuff.
When we go, what you play an instrument?
Principally, I'm not musician, but I do the arrangements and I do with the music computer.
Okay, producing that.
I principally play keyboard. Also keyboard.
Okay. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So then you can gig with us too. Then there we go.
100%. We love that. Thank you, Marco. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag you out from behind the scenes, but hi. Yeah. So if we're gonna go to Italy, or we're gonna go to the mountain, we're gonna go to the ocean, we're gonna go to the beach.
Yes.
All those places.
Beach guy.
Okay.
Like when we go on vacation, it's always a beach location somewhere. But I love the mountains too.
Nice.
Don't go there very often, but yeah, mostly always beach.
I'm with you there. I'm mostly beach too. I like the beach. Are you a boater or anything like that? You're from Iowa, so yeah. I didn't think you'd be much of a boater.
We'll go sometimes. So we have a timeshare in Mexico, and sometimes we'll rent like a gondola for the day, and I'll just sit there on the beach, play guitar, write music. It's awesome. Nothing better.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do people come and watch you when you're sitting on the beach and writing music and playing?
I try to play pretty quiet, so that doesn't happen.
Very cool. So if you're gonna go and you're in Mexico, do you do a lot of shopping and stuff like that, or?
Usually when we go, a lot of times we go with another couple, and the women like to shop. They'll do a spa day, and he and I will go golf. But we always try to take in at least one day of the culture of wherever we're at. Just take in a little. I'm not a big history buff, but I like doing that. So we'll go like the Mayan ruins and things like that. So yeah. But yeah, they like to shop. We like to shop. I like to shop.
Well, there you go. You've learned how to shop. So we can thank Buckles for you're learning how to shop, right? Hey, you didn't just get the salesperson, you got the owner of the shop with you. Here, let me help you. Nice. So if you're going down to Mexico, I guess that would be your favorite vacation place?
Yeah, I like going down there. I want to, I'd love to travel abroad, just because I never have, and I've seen a lot of those. We watch a lot of those like house hunters and stuff like that go to different countries and show you. I'd love to go somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to go somewhere else, and especially with music. My dream has always been to go somewhere with music, but also have enough time to actually go and see some of those sites. Right. And be a tourist when you're going and doing the shows too, right?
Yep. Yeah. Perfect.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. And then you just bring a film crew and away we go, right?
There we go. They document the whole thing. There you go.
I think that kind of sounds like a Rise Up TV episode.
We need a bus. Oh, wait, we got a bus.
Maybe we'll have to talk to Mark. We'll get with his people. All right. So Howard, it's been really nice to have this opportunity to chat with you.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Thank you for sharing your journey. And thank you for your honesty about how you got to where you're at with the Christian rock. So many people think it's so easy just to go into Christian rock, right? Or, and then you get that judgment, right? Well, where were you before? How come I haven't heard your music? Oh, you were secular. Oh, right. No, it's not like that. We're all broken. Yeah. It's like God's this big auto repair guy. He's like, yeah, you're broken. So let me put you back together the way I want you to be. And boom, here you go, So thank you. And it was really nice to hear a little bit about your wife and your new life with touring and that sort of thing. So where can we find your shows? How can we find you? Do you do public shows? Are you mainly the worship team? Where are you playing?
I'll play anywhere. Last 6 weeks, I've been in Kansas and Michigan and Tennessee and Indianapolis. I'll play anywhere. I mean, I love the festivals during the summer. That's fun. I'm on, if you go to my website, Howard Gripp Music, that's 2ps.com. My schedule's on there from bands in town, and I'm all over Spotify and Apple at Howard Gripp Music. So yeah, if you need somebody to play music, let me know.
All right. And we can also follow you in your journey on Facebook and in Instagram, right? And you're one of our Big Records people. So you'll find us at www.bigrecords.world and look for Howard Gripp with the 2 Ps.
The 2 Ps.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Any other insight you'd like to share with us?
Well, I would like to thank you for asking those other questions, because most interviews, basically focus on the music, but, asking the other questions that actually let people maybe learn a little bit more about me. I appreciate that. So thanks for that. My only My only final statement or piece of advice is don't ever let anybody tell you you're too young or too old to do anything, because I'm doing what I wanted to do when I was 20 in my 60s. So, and it's awesome. And I don't think I would have appreciated it back then like I appreciate it now.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, Howard, for blessing us with your time and sharing your story with us. You've been a really big inspiration for a lot of people, and we really appreciate that you took the time to share with us your story. Thank you.
Thanks.
So we have a little tagline.
Okay.
For ICFB Star Entertainment, and it's a little bit French, it's a little bit Spanish, and it's a little bit Italian.
All
Okay,
right. Yeah, I'm ready.
So it's I see, you see, we see, grazie. Okay,
I see, you see, we see. Gracias. Is that it?
thank you. Very well. Nailed it. There goes a drum move. So, do you want to do it on three with me? 1, 2, 3. I see, you see, we see, grazie. Thank you so much, Howard Gripp, for being part of our show today. Thank you, Marco of fearescape, for producing us. Thank you, Big Records, for putting us together. And thank you, Jet Set Music Media, my other partners, and Hotel Universe for putting us up on Rock U channels. Also, a big thank you to Apple for taking us up, and Boomplay and Podbean. And we just really thank you very much for helping us to share this word and share this message. So thank you, Howard Gripp, for being here today with us. www.howardgrip with 2Ps music.com and bigrecords.world. You'll find us there. Thank you so much. Grazie.